Okay, good day to you. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll be talking about transport in plants. And similar like the previous video, check the top right corner, talking about transport in humans. Not all cells in the plant are near to nutrient processing centers, waste processing centers as well. That's why a certain transport mechanism, a system needs to be in place to bring all these materials to and fro from the plant to keep the whole organism alive. Okay, so let's talk about what kind of roads are there, what kind of footpaths are there to bring things around. First, we have the xylem. So xylems are vessels that transport water and salts up and down the plant. Mainly is from the root up to the leaves because water is from the ground. And the way it's built to perform its function is that it has a empty lumen, a space without cell material. So it's pretty much a dead material. It's a dead structure. So to prevent uninterrupted water flow, it is also supplemented with this material called lignin, which is the woody material of plants. So with it being rigid and tough, it is able to hold the whole tube upright and assist the water to flow. Okay, next will be the phloem. Phloem is the tube that transport food substances, sucrose, amino acids, okay, from the leaves to the other parts of the plant because photosynthesis happens in the leaves. The carbon molecules, the organic compounds that is created in the leaves, happen there because photosynthesis happens in the leaves. Capture light to put the carbon molecule into the water molecule. See the photosynthesis chapter. So the phloem consists of sieve tubes and plates as well as companion cells. Okay, so and the sieve tube are cells that has lost most of its organelles, so to be able to transport food materials rapidly. And because of this, they need a companion cell to be able to carry out the life processes and assist these sieve tubes to keep alive, for it to carry out its function. And at the ends of each sieve tube cells, there is this component called the sieve plates with pores on it, which enables rapid flow of materials. Look at the example of a dicotyledonous root. So don't be too concerned about this vocabulary. As mentioned in this video, dicotyledonous is just a class of plants that produces seeds with two hemispheres like red beans, green beans. Okay, so using just this class of plants as an example, from the root, you can see that cross-section of a root shows this X shape. And yeah, it's pretty easy to remember because X stands for xylem. So the inner zone, the X zone, is where the xylem is, and the outer part will be the phloem. And as this set of vessels, they are called the vascular bundle. And moving up to the cross-section of the stem, you can see that because initially the xylem is on the inside, the xylem will be on the inner side of the vascular bundle. And now there is this middle layer called the cambium. Cambium is the undifferentiated vessel that can transform itself to be either a xylem or a phloem. Undifferentiated, it simply means not specialized yet, something like stem cells. Next, we'll be talking about how does water enter the plant. So looking in, zooming into each root hair cell in the soil, in the root of the plant, you can see that the water moves into the root hair cell by osmosis. So this root hair cell has higher water potential than the neighboring cells, and the water is able to move from the first cell to the next cell via osmosis and all the way into the xylem. And this process repeats. Once the water is in the xylem, it goes from the root all the way up to the plant for use. Okay, with the absorption of water, mineral salts are being absorbed as well by diffusion and as well as active transport, where the plant expends energy to bring in mineral salts from region of low concentration to high concentration. Recall this chapter at the top right corner. So similarly, you may need to be familiar with how the root hair cell is adapted, okay, to its function recall this chapter at the top right corner of this video. Okay, so next we'll be talking about how the plants move water against gravity. So some plants, like trees, they are very tall and they need special mechanisms and methods to do this. If not, they will die. Okay, first will be root pressure. Root pressure is whereby cells around xylem pumps ions into the xylem vessel. This will cause the lumen to have less water potential. Therefore, the xylem will always absorb water through osmosis and passing it upwards. This is root pressure. And next is capillary action. So water tends to move upwards in narrow tubes. If you want to try, you can use clear tape and create a very narrow tube and you put it into water. You can see that the water actually climbs up this little tube. This is due to the surface tension at the top layer of water. However, these two methods are not sufficient to bring it up meters and meters up into the plant, into the leaves. Perhaps the most powerful method will be transpiration pull. And what is transpiration? Transpiration is losing water from the plant through the leaves, through the stomata of course. So because of losing water from the leaves, this creates a vacuum force, a suction force that pulls water up the xylem from the root. So why does plants transpire? So the verb of the noun transpiration is transpire. So why do they transpire? Is because they need to bring water and salt from roots to other parts of plant, especially the leaves. It also needs to bring water up for evaporation because plants cannot move. They are always in a fixed location. They are in the sun all day long. So most of the time they are trying to regulate their internal temperature so their enzymes can be maintained and not be denatured. Because once the enzymes denature, the plant will die. And evaporation of water, perhaps we'll cover in future videos in physics. It is able to hold a lot of energy before it evaporates, thereby bringing away a lot of heat energy per 1 gram of water. Okay, so since transpiration is so important, we need to know what factors affect the plant's ability to transpire, and these are the factors. So of course, firstly, it's humidity. We learn in basic chapters talking about diffusion. If the outside concentration of water vapor is high, which is humid, very humid, okay, the plant has less tendency to want to transpire. Okay, so therefore the next factor will be wind. If the wind is able to push away all this vapor outside the stomata, decreasing the concentration. Therefore, the plant will have more tendency to want to transpire and lose water through its leaves. Next will be temperature, of course. If a temperature is high, then there's a greater tendency to want to lose water to maintain its internal temperature. Lastly, will also be light. When plants are exposed to higher amounts of light energy, the stomata will open wider, therefore increasing the rate of transpiration, increasing the chance that the plant can lose water through its leaves. And of course, finally, we are talking about wilting. As plants lose water due to a variety of reasons, the turgor pressure of the cells supporting the leaf decreases. And there are advantages and disadvantages of this process. As the turgor pressure has decreased, the leaves will start to fold up, and because the leaves have folded up, the surface area shown to the sunlight has been reduced, therefore conducting a lower rate of photosynthesis. And because of this, the guard cells also become less turgid, become flaccid, and the stomatas close. The chance of water loss, transpiration, is reduced. And the disadvantages of wilting are the, as mentioned, reduced rate of photosynthesis, and because of reduced rate of photosynthesis, the plants make less food for themselves. So if the plant is in wilted position for a prolonged period of time, the plant will die. And that is all for today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like and subscribe. Share it with somebody that needs to see this. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.